Hello, I'm David D. Hilser. I am a critical thinker, dissident scientist, and I'm here to tell you the truth about science, something your university professors won't tell you, the mass media won't tell you, and certainly those science evangelists won't tell you. First of all, I'd like to thank Gary Mosher from Draft Science for allowing me to come on and talk with his audience about dissident science, and we had some good conversations. He and I have similar views. He has a particle model, and we talked a little bit about that. And I even invited him to write a paper to be in our next conference. He doesn't seem too thrilled about it, but he is absolutely adamant in getting more information and getting people into becoming critical thinkers. And he really appreciates the work that I do here on the dissident science and also the CNPS, although he doesn't like the word philosophy. But we're going to get him schooled on all that and give him at least our opinion about that, where actually natural philosophy is actually a great a name for a group that's what used to be called physics, because scientific philosophy is very important. But thank you so much, Gary, once again for inviting me on. I had a great time, and hopefully I can invite you onto my channel. We can talk. But I'm going to talk today about something that I talk a lot with people, including Gary, and sometimes people don't get it. Sometimes they do. I think he gets it, but the idea of charge. I have people I admire who think charge is how do you say, an assumption of science. Charge exists, positive and negative, and those two things cause attractions, but they don't give any physicality for it. I know, I won't say who, but numbers of people do look at that as very fundamental, and that is an assumption that cannot be broken. It's a fundamental thing of the universe. Yet, in reality, it is not. It is a concept and not a real thing. In fact, the systems that we put on top of charge, positive and negative, are something that we invented. And who invented it? Well, Mr. Benjamin Franklin invented charge, and he was the first to talk about positive and negative, and since then we've been charge crazy. We have charge in electrodynamics, we have charge on electrons and positons, subatomic particles. We have charge, meaning positive and negative in electronics. We have positive and negative in magnetic fields. Not so much there in the sense of a charge, positive, negative, but we do use the charge and positive and negative on even magnets. Yet, think about it. What is charge? Just because I put a positive on a proton and a negative on an electron, they attract. We say they attract. We have many people, including in our group, in the CNPS, that talk about charge as a fundamental property of matter. That's a nice idea, but again, it is an arbitrary attribute, as Dr. Alexander Unzicker says. And maybe he doesn't even agree with what I'm saying. I know he subscribes to my channel. He is an amazing guy. Maybe he does. But charge is something we put on as arbitrary. The idea that an electron orbits a proton and that electrons have negative charge and protons have positive charge, and the reason the electron stays in orbit around the proton is because of charge. Well, why? Well, there's a field there. Well, what's the field made of? And we go on and on and on and on. But there are numbers of theories and models out there that don't have charge. For instance, our particle model, we don't have charge. The reason an electron is orbiting a proton is because we have G1 particle fields. It's gravity 2. We have gravity 1, which is a field of G1 particles in all directions, a graviton model. And we have graviton 2 at a second level, G2 particles that keep G1 particles in orbit. We have a reason for those things. So, and other ones I've read, there are some theories that have fluid dynamic theories, and they use the fluid dynamic movement for attraction and repulsion, just like the Deneuve effect, which I coined the Deneuve effect from Lionel Deneuve, a great experimentalist who shows underwater that you have cylinders in the same direction causing a flow around them will attract, and in opposite directions they will repel, just like magnets. So the idea that charge, positive, negative, is a real thing, and it's a fundamental thing that rules the universe. The electric universe, for instance, I applaud a lot of their work. They do really great work, and they have the absolute right to be out there challenging mainstream and saying, hey, the world's more electric. But they have electric fields, they have models, and they all have charge on them. They all have fields, and there's no physicality to those. And I'm not here again to criticize them or anybody else's theory. But you have to understand, just like energy, charge is not real. It's something we've set up, the positives and negatives, and we build models with those, right or wrong. But we're to the point, like myself, I don't like that. I can't accept it. It makes no sense to me anymore with the detailed models to start to say, oh yeah, we have charge. I am too curious and want more. And again, there are numerous theories out there, not so many, that actually don't have charge and actually describe why things attract. And it's a physical model and not some magical model where woo, they have different things and they have different behaviors and they move magically. So I want you to think about this. I know it's so ingrained in us, so smashed into our brains that you think, David, you're crazy. Of course charge is fundamental. Charge is a symbol we put on something and we make it magically attract to each other without any physical explanation. Remember what I say. Don't take what anyone says on faith. Stay critical, to stay thinking. I am David D. Hilster. I am your science therapist. I'm here to tell you the truth about charge isn't real. Energy isn't real. Even force isn't real. But it's useful? Yeah. Do our systems with charge, negative and positive, pretty useful? Pretty useful. Do we need to go on from that and really figure out why these things are moving? Yep. Ciao for now.